Great. I see us live on YouTube and Facebook. Let me check that. We are. We are. Okay, so I am starting to see the notification on my end, which means that it is time to get this officially kicked off. Good morning and happy Friday to you all. Thank you for joining us for our live broadcasts. I am Juliette Abdel, President and CEO of the Westminster Chamber of Commerce. And if you are a first-time viewer to our page, please make sure that you hit the like button on our Facebook, that you are following the page. If you are viewing this on our YouTube platform, you can always hit the subscribe button, which alerts you when we do go live or when the videos are available for you to replay. That gets me to my next comment, and that is the video section here on our page allows you to see a number of videos that we've had to date. Those date back to about 2020 when we first kicked off our live broadcast. So if you're ever bored, if you are on a weekend binge watching various things, consider binge watching something local or resource driven. Now, for those of you that are returning viewers, you already know my ask. Hit the share button on this video so others in your broadcast can see that we're live in real time, can also join us and be engaged, be interactive with us. Now, how you can interact with us on this broadcast is a couple of different ways. One, you can not only watch the video, but two, you can react to it with a thumbs up or one of those emojis that show that you are so excited. The laughing, the heart. We don't like the angry one, so avoid that one if possible. You can also comment into the chat if you have thoughts or questions or just comments you want us to be aware of. And we'll go ahead and start picking some of those up so you see how this works. We currently have our Mayor Pro Tem, Dave DeMott, on here viewing the broadcast with us, giving a good afternoon to us all. Thank you for joining us on this Friday. And you're quite welcome. We have a number of nonprofits in our community, not only in our chamber, but around the city of Westminster that are doing so much great work. And so today's broadcast really is designed to highlight our nonprofits through our nonprofit corner. We also have our current board chairman, Brian Dice, joining us with a good morning message. Thank you both for being on here with us. And that's exactly how your comments will be displayed. So hopefully you have a profile picture that you're proud of or you're okay with displaying. And whatever comment that it is, we'll try and pull it up on the screen. More importantly, if there is a question about some of the information that we share, we want to hear that so we can direct it to our audience with us today, which leads me to my guests. Today's broadcast, of course, as we've highlighted it, is our nonprofit corner. We are touching on a number of different services that this partner provides to our community, but it is the Butterfly Pavilion, and we're so excited and thrilled to have them on here with us today. They are thrilled too, I promise you. So what I would like to do, because we have a full screen of some of their expert leaders and staff, is have you get to know who these faces are. And we'll start with Patrick.
Yeah, hi, I'm Patrick Tennyson, President and CEO here at Butterfly Pavilion. Thanks for having us.
So excited to have you on here, Patrick. Thank you so much for being here with us. We also have Sharon.
Hey all, my name is Shidan Hershkovich, and I am the Lepidopterist at the Butterfly Pavilion, which is a fancy way of saying that I oversee and manage our butterfly collections.
Such an exciting role that you have. And her last name is exactly how it's spelled. Who would have guessed? Janet?
Hi there, I'm Janet McFarland Burlisle, and I'm the Vice President of Donor Relations at Butterfly Pavilion.
So thrilled to have all three of you. I also see Nathan on this broadcast. Thank you for giving us a thumbs up and letting us know you're tuned in. So we will get right down to it. I know the Butterfly Pavilion provides a number of services to our community. If you don't know them or haven't been to them at all, this is a great way to learn about them. And if you do know of them, this is a nice refresher. And so what I'll go ahead and do, I know they have a presentation that's ready and everything. I'll have this pulled up on our screen. And then we're just going to get to know them a little bit more. And I'll actually start with you, Patrick. If you can tell us a little bit about the Butterfly Pavilion.
Okay. Well, again, Juliet, thank you for having us on. It's wonderful. We're very excited about today. So we appreciate it. Butterfly Pavilion is, again, a nonprofit organization. It's been a part of the Colorado community for about 26 years. We opened our doors in 1995 and are so very proud to be a part of Westminster and the Westminster culture and heritage. We're a top 10 cultural attraction here in the Denver metro area, and we're the only standalone invertebrate zoo that's accredited by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. So that's a big undertaking, and we embrace that role. Our mission is to foster an appreciation for invertebrate creatures while educating the public about the importance of conserving habitat globally, while at the same time conducting research for solutions in invertebrate conservation. Now, that's a big undertaking and a big a lot to do. So we tackle that mission in several different ways. First of all, we invite hundreds of thousands of people annually to come to Butterfly Pavilion and visit and to get hands-on experiences with invertebrate creatures, ones they would never see in anywhere else in the world. Amazing experiences. We also invite tens of thousands of school kids each year to come to our site, or we go out to schools throughout the Denver metro area, well, actually the Front Range and up to Wyoming and down south, to reach kids from all over, to make sure that all kids get an opportunity to explore the wonders of nature. And then lastly, and something that a lot of people don't really know we do, is our science and research efforts, our commitment to the importance of conserving and protecting invertebrate creatures all over the world, from right here in America to Sumatra and Mongolia. We are conducting research and conservation efforts to ensure we know everything we need to know about these creatures so we can do everything we can to protect them and connect citizens in these other countries on that same path to help us connect those. Help us preserve and conserve these creatures.
Your reach is so impressive. And until this broadcast today, I'm only just now learning about how you are inviting those hundreds of thousands and interested people to learn more. But, this is something that you live and breathe on a daily basis. So to someone like me or just anyone else that's in the community, why should they really care about this effort to conserve, or really invertebrates in general?
Well, that's a great question. And I think it starts with the fact that, invertebrate creatures make up 97% of all animals on our planet. So when we think of zoos and the role of zoos, our role is to protect that 97%. It's a big undertaking, and they are very diverse, from corals to insects to spiders to jellyfish and everything, and sea stars and everything in between. And all of these creatures play a vital role to protect or a vital role in ensuring our very survival. So Butterfly Pavilion's commitment to ensure their survival ensures human survival. It's a big undertaking. Insects, for example, provide trillions of dollars annually in terms of environmental services to our planet, from decomposition to pollination. Pollination by itself, pollinators by themselves, $40 billion in the United States alone annually is produced by of economic benefit due to pollinators. So these are huge numbers, and we count on these creatures for our survival. 1 in every 3 bites of food each and every day is provided by pollinated creatures. So we've heard about the collapse of honeybees and some of the challenges honeybees are facing. Well, we're seeing that across the board in many invertebrate creatures. And so Butterfly Pavilion has a big role to play to create awareness about the importance of these creatures, but also conduct this education and the science and conservation efforts to ensure we protect them.
I am very fascinated, and I love this stat, and I feel like I'm going to start using it on a continuous basis. The 1 in 3 bites is provided by pollinated creatures. Had no idea. And I feel like that's something that we take it for granted. We don't necessarily think about whenever we are just moving through life. So thank you so much for that, Patrick, that nice overview that you had. Love the comment from your team at the Butterfly Pavilion that you all stand on the backs of tiny giants. Very well said. I also see you on here, Cynthia. Thank you for tuning into the broadcast with us. We have a few other folks from the team sharing about the Butterfly Pavilion. Sharon, you look like you are somewhere that you are either, unless you are just home and that's your natural environment. But can you tell us a little bit about, any news that you have or some things that you're working on currently?
Sure. So this is not a Zoom background. I am actually in our behind the scenes lab space at Butterfly Pavilion, which is where a lot of our wonderful research projects often take place. So whenever you come in here, you might see someone sorting hundreds of invertebrates or working on our aquatics holding system, which you can see in the back. As Patrick was describing, Butterfly Pavilion is more than just an exhibit space. It is also a research center. But above all, it's a community space and a resource for Coloradans to engage with conservation and natural habits. An exciting news to share now that we're on the eve of spring is our community science programs will be picking up very soon. So through Butterfly Pavilion's community science programs, the community can get involved with impactful protection of our invertebrates and natural resources while celebrating outdoor spaces, which is something that I feel like we have a culture of doing here. We definitely love our natural spaces. And additionally, I genuinely believe we're all scientists. We all have that inner sense of curiosity and exploration that is essential to science. So we come with that built-in scientist within us. So our invertebrate discovery programs and community science programs are an excellent way for anyone to cultivate that spirit and become a real life scientist. In addition to practicing being a scientist, you become a stakeholder in conservation around Colorado. So as Patrick was saying, protecting invertebrates is vital for our survival as well as theirs. So getting involved with these initiatives makes science accessible for everyone and conservation accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
So at the moment, we're leading 3 big outdoor invertebrate discovery programs. Urban Prairies Project focuses on restoration of open spaces and natural systems. So if you like being really hands-on with conservation, putting on your boots and getting your hands dirty, this is the project for you. So volunteers around Colorado go out and restore prairie systems because that is essential for a variety of pollinators and invertebrates, and vertebrates as well to really subsist and thrive. So helping those populations have a healthy home ultimately helps us have a healthy home. The Colorado Dragonfly Monitoring Project is also a very fun one. If you've always dreamed of grabbing a net and running around a field. And then we have the Colorado Butterfly Monitoring Network. And it's a particularly special time for the Colorado Butterfly Monitoring Network as we're entering its 10th year of monitoring. So it'll be 2022 will be its 10th anniversary. So join the hype, be a part of this, don't miss out. And actually, we just released our 2021 report for the Colorado Butterfly Monitoring Network, where we learned that monarch butterfly populations had a stellar year. In Colorado, we saw 124% increase in their population numbers, which is consistent with, if you've seen it on the news, It's been everywhere. Monarch butterflies are having a bit of a thriving moment. And we know all of this because of community sciences. So this was all people-powered data. So dedicated and passionate volunteers engage with these programs. They go out in the field and donate their time and energy to protecting invertebrates, which is really, really special to see. So it's a wonderful way to get directly involved and celebrate outdoor spaces, support environmental sustainability, inform local policy, as well as just getting outdoors and having a great time.
Well, I love all of this because, and I love that you highlighted that there's more than just kind of coming for the attraction side, but there's a lot of research, there's a lot of data that you all are contributing to. And these programs are a really nice conduit for our community members to be getting involved. And so I'm going to ask you a question. This is completely left field, but this comes to mind. And that's, I feel like sometimes people think of the Butterfly Pavilion as this experience for children and that's it. And I'd imagine that these programs, the Urban Prairies Project and the Butterfly Monitoring Program and several others that you have, it's not restricted to a specific demographic. And you probably have a number of adults mixed with adolescents. Is that more an accurate statement?
Yes, that's accurate. So the main idea behind community science is making it accessible to people of all ages, all backgrounds, and all interests, as well as ability levels. So it's really everyone can engage. We have so many flavors of engagement. So anyone can find a way to contribute. So again, it is more than those exhibit spaces that you might be familiar in, Holding Rosie. There's just always a lot going on, not only behind the scenes, but outside of our walls. So this is a Colorado-wide initiative, these restoration and conservation projects, as well as the conservation and research projects we have around the world. But these community science programs offer everyone a way to get involved with that data creation process and making creating an impactful understanding of invertebrates around us.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. And we'll come back, I'm sure, with some questions later on this. I see Christina and Brian Head. I also see Fidel and Susan. Thank you all for tuning in with us on our broadcast today. Janet, we've just touched on kind of the inception of the Butterfly Pavilion back in the 90s. Patrick gave us a nice overview and an update on your mission, your vision for this nonprofit. And then we transitioned into ways people can really get engaged and activated into these programs that you have that are going on a decade of being around. What does the future look like for the Butterfly Pavilion?
Well, as both Patrick and Sharon mentioned, we have a lot going on at Butterfly Pavilion. And about 5 years ago, we sat down and really started to assess where we wanted to be in the future. And our primary goal is to become the global hub for research, education, and conservation of invertebrates. But in order to do that, we realized really quickly that our current space just isn't going to accommodate all of our really ambitious goals. One thing that you might not know about where Sharon is standing in our lab is that our lab is about the size of a fairly small walk-in closet. And we're doing some really important work in there and are looking at big partnerships with universities like Colorado State University. And we need more space to do this important work. But we also need more space to serve our guests and to really live up to our vision and mission for the future. If you've been here in the summer, you have probably noticed that there are days when it's hard to find a parking space because we are filled to the brim. And so taking that all into account, we have developed a plan for a new building located not too far up the road from Westminster at the Baseline Development in Broomfield, which is at the junction of Highway 7 or Baseline Road and I-25. So if you're familiar with the big Top Golf that's right up the road, our facility will be just on the west side of I-25 from there. And we are looking to expand from our current facility, which is about 35,000 square feet, into a building that will be more than 80,000 square feet. We will continue to have our beautiful tropical butterfly house. But today, that house is just over 1 story. Our new facility will have a butterfly house that's 5 stories tall, which will allow guests to get up into the canopy, and it will also allow all of our beautiful plants to really grow to their full height. In addition to butterflies, we'll be featuring lots of other tropical animals in there as well. We'll also have an ocean biome that will focus in on all of the wonderful ocean invertebrates, like Patrick mentioned, the jellies and the corals and the sea stars and bigger touch tanks, because we know our guests love to get up close and personal with these animals. And finally, we'll have a desert biome, which will be the home to our favorite friend, Rosie the tarantula, along with a lot of her friends from the desert environment. Additionally, like I mentioned, we'll have greatly expanded lab space and education classrooms. We serve tens of thousands of kids each year through education programming and school programming. And these new classrooms and new spaces will allow us to do that even better. In addition, we'll be situated on an 8-acre area in the baseline development that will allow us to really activate outdoor spaces and make the outdoors as much of a part of the experience as the indoors. And one of the most important things is that we're working closely with McWhinney, which is the developer of Baseline, to turn the entire 1,200-acre development into what we call a pollinator district, which will make healthy habitat in a development for pollinators specifically. And our experts are currently sitting on their design review board, and we approve every single plant and everything that is done with the landscape to ensure that it's pollinator friendly. So we're incredibly excited about that opportunity. And finally, we are partnering with Adams 5-Star School District and MindSpark Learning as they develop a K-12 STEM school, which will be right across from Butterfly Pavilion. And we envision a really well-worn path between the school and Butterfly Pavilion, where the kids are coming over on a daily basis and working with our scientists, working with our interpreters, and learning about all of these important creatures and really being part of the process. So this is what our future is looking like, and we're so excited about the potential. We are planning to break ground on the new facility in 2024 with an opening in late 2025.
A lot of information. And it's a lot of great information, a lot of opportunity that's going to be out there, a lot of expansion and enhancement on some of the things that you are already doing. And what we've already had the Butterfly Pavilion do is provide us a link straight over to the details of the new facility. That is in the chat section for those of you that are interested in geeking out over what that's going to look like and getting excited about what the future of the Butterfly Pavilion looks like. Definitely head on over to that link so you can learn more about it. So Janet, we've touched a little bit on the future. We've also slightly touched a little bit about ways that people can get involved. Are there other ways that there can be community engagement to the Butterfly Pavilion, whether it's now or into the future, as you're looking to really grow on all of these efforts that you've just so wonderfully highlighted for us?
Yeah, absolutely. As we mentioned earlier, becoming a volunteer with Butterfly Pavilion, whether that's part of our community science programs or coming and being a regular volunteer here at the pavilion, we have lots of opportunities for folks to engage with us as volunteers. Or you can become a member and be able to come out to Butterfly Pavilion anytime you like and take advantage of discounts on programs and in our beautiful gift shop, which you just don't want to miss. Visit us, like us, and share on social media. Up on your screen, you can see all of the places where we are very active out on social media. Visit our website at butterflies.org. And of course, my job being one of fundraising, we would love for you to donate. We have lots of opportunities, both on an annual basis to sponsor programs or become involved that way. And of course, there will be lots of opportunities to donate around the new facility. And finally, tell your friends about us. We're a great place to visit as a family, and we have so many great resources that we want to get out to all of friends and families and let them know what we're up to.
So we're typing all of that information into the chat section for you to be able to see. Here in 1 second, I'm just going to take off this presentation from the screen so we can see our guests' lovely faces. We have John and Jeff and a few other folks that have been tuning in with us. And we also had a quick comment come our way from Brian Head as you all were speaking, sharing kind of a quick good morning message, but also sharing about how much his family loves the Butterfly Pavilion and how he would take his little ones over, and they couldn't say pavilion, so they'd always say Butterfly Pavilion. Thank you for that personal testimony. Quite humorous and hilarious. So this leads me to another question, and you slightly touched on this. Both Patrick and Janet, both of you have done this pretty well, but can we expand around this misconception, I think, that's been provided with your name? So often when people see Butterfly Pavilion, they just think that all you do is butterflies, but you touched on the fact that bees, I mean, you've touched about Rosie, which I have never touched and probably will never get the courage to, but, can you emphasize a little bit around some of the things that you're doing outside of the butterflies that you are so well known for?
Well, I can start. I'm happy to start, and I'd love the other team to jump in. Butterflies are just the beginning, as we say. They are an ambassador animal. People love butterflies and gravitate towards them. Are not often scared of butterflies and connect. So it's a great ambassador animal. It's a way to connect people. I mean, I would be pretty sure if we were called the Cockroach Pavilion, I don't think we'd be around very long. So butterflies is that ambassador animal that brings people in, and then we're able to help people connect and explore to all the invertebrate world. Again, invertebrates are animals without backbones. So most creatures are invertebrates, and they're so misunderstood, and so many misconceptions about them. So to actually protect them and care about them, we have to connect people to them. And this is the way we do that, through those hands-on discoveries and immersive experiences like walking among them in a tropical rainforest.
Yeah, that's so very well put. I couldn't imagine stepping foot in a cockroach pavilion. So so you've definitely you've made it a lot more welcoming with something that's appealing to almost everyone. Well, great. So if you all have any comments or questions that our organization with us, the Butterfly Pavilion, has not touched on, feel free to type it into the chat section. Again, we have with us Patrick, Janet, and Sharon from the Butterfly Pavilion, who've given a nice overview about the organization, their inception, the overall goal and mission, into ways that you can personally support them, whether it's individual volunteering, a group volunteering for various projects or programs that they have, or even donating or just helping to spread the word about the work that they're doing. You can find them on all major social media platforms, here on Facebook, of course, on YouTube, or on Twitter, Facebook and Twitter, and on their regular website, where you can get additional information, additional details. So if you're not already following them, as soon as this broadcast is over, make sure that you hop on over there, so that way you are engaging with them and can see some of the information that they are sharing into the future. I also see you, Dominic. Thank you for joining us and giving us a reaction on this video, so that we can know that you are tuning into the broadcast. And I see Dennis and Emilio, both of you have caught us here at the tail end of this video, but know that you can always rewind and rewatch the video. In fact, if you are watching this later and it's the afternoon or evening, do us a huge favor and give us a hashtag replay, so we know that you tuned in at a later point in time. It also helps us find any future comment or question that you might have on this video, that we can also direct back to you. Now, there are super fun words and terms that that you have over at the Butterfly Pavilion as you were sharing a little bit about the various programs. I've heard something along the lines of a quest. And I don't know if this is just, off the top of my head that I'm guessing that this is a program that's in there. So I'm going to kick that back to you, to Sharon, to tell us a little bit more about what that is.
Sure. So you may be thinking of Butterfly Quest, which just launched this week on Tuesday. And Butterfly Quest is essentially a scavenger hunt through our Wings of the Tropics Conservatory. We've been running a study in there for quite a long time now, to keep track of our butterflies, see how long they're living, how they're spending their time. And it's great data for us to constantly revolutionize practices in our conservatory for care. But now we've opened that up to our guests. So anyone who comes to the Wings of the Tropics Conservatory can help us look for tagged butterflies. So every week, as soon as butterflies emerge from their chrysalis, we will put a little sticker on them with a number. We have around 2,000 butterflies flying at any given time, so it's hard for us to give them names. Therefore, we give them numbers. But you can walk around the conservatory, find some tagged butterflies, and then as soon as you spot one, you can, through our virtual data form, send that directly to me. And I can see what butterflies people are seeing, how they're spending their time, what they're up to. So it's really fun, and a great way to make the Wings of the Tropics experience not just immersive, but also really interactive.
Yeah.
And you can also learn a lot more about our butterflies, and you might spot butterflies you have never seen before through that hunt.
That sounds very exciting. And we're going to flash up quickly the link for that program. If anyone's interested in learning more about the Butterfly Quest, you can find more information by going to that link. It's in the chat section for you to visit here later on. Believe it or not, we've gone slightly over our 30-minute mark, and I'm very thankful to all of you that have tuned in and those of you that are with us on this broadcast from the Butterfly Pavilion. I think it's been a very enriching experience to have you on here and be able to share a little bit more about your organization. As we close out, stay with me all the way until we're completely closed out. For those of you that I will be seeing this afternoon, here's a quick friendly reminder that we have a 4 o'clock grand opening celebration for Sweet Wellness here a little bit south. So it's off of 80th and Sheridan is the closest intersection to that. Of course, we'll be back on here for another live broadcast on Monday, this time with Counselor Nirmela to give us updates on city council, city happenings, and everything from her perspective. So I hope you guys can tune in then. In the meantime, stay warm, stay safe. If it snows, get off the road so we can plow it easier. And have a wonderful rest of your Friday. Thank you so much to our guests for being on here today with us.